Hello Sagittarius, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with over 40 years experience in the business now and 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure, Sagittarius, to welcome you to this video on your cycles for November and December 2014. Now, I've been doing these videos now for 18 months and I've done 140 YouTube videos now on all aspects of personal growth and spiritual growth, not just on astrology. And the feedback that I'm getting from people on these videos is absolutely incredible. And I'm so pleased about that and fortified by that. And there's over 4,000 subscribers now to my YouTube videos, so you should definitely subscribe, Sagittarius. What I'm going to do for you here is to help you to become more of the giant that you truly are, Sagittarius. Now, I've written 2 books. One is called Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, and the other one is called What Really Matters. What Really Matters was my first book on the basics of astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And also there's Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, which goes into things a bit more deeply on quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and cosmic science and so forth. And I'm going to be telling you here, first of all, about your personality, Sagittarius, to help you to understand yourself more and what sort of tests that you've set for yourself in this incarnation, and what sort of qualities, principles and values that you want to develop within yourself. And then I'm going to tell you about things on a timeline for you, with the movement of the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Mars through the houses of your horoscope in this 2-month period of November and December. And then I'm going to look at the slower moving bodies of Jupiter and Saturn to help you to understand what's coming up there as far as they're concerned as well. So just sit back and relax now, Sagittarius, and we'll have some fun together. You're a very goal-oriented person. You're a fire sign, so you've got a lot of enthusiasm for your ideas in life, Sagittarius. And you're very frank, straightforward and to the point. You call a spade a spade. Very adventurous. You have a tremendous urge to expand yourself to new horizons, and you do this through travel and through adult education, study, research, investigation of the various philosophies of life to help you to understand more about yourself and the nature of reality and your place in that reality. Now, you do have a fair share of problems as far as money is concerned. Handling the budget is not easy for you. You have a lot of frustrations with regard to money matters and difficulties in balancing the budget and so forth. And there's unhappiness for you in terms of a sense of security. You find it difficult to have a sense of security in your life in terms of financial and as well as other things as well. Now, you seem to have a very futuristic mind, strongly attracted towards things like astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And you're quite often accustomed, Sagittarius, to your ideas not fitting in with the mainstream of thinking. So you've got a highly developed intuition and you drive an unusual vehicle. You perhaps ride a motorbike, or you have an unusual type of motor vehicle. And you're accustomed to saying things out of the blue that shock people and seem to create an impression on them that you're a little bit kinky in lots of ways. Now, there's unusual circumstances focusing through relatives. So you perhaps have relatives who are not truly your blood relatives and things like that. So unusual sort of circumstances there in terms of relatives. And there's some unusual relationships that you can form with neighbours as well. Now, you seem to have a lot of worries about your parents, as if one of your parents had a lot of problems emotionally or problems with drugs or alcohol, and there seems to be secrets about the family that you have to try and keep to yourself and so forth. So there's matters relating to the family and the domestic side of life which are quite disconcerting and things that are quite destabilizing for you in lots of ways in your childhood home as you're growing up. And there seems to be a chance that you would live near the water. You love living near the water. If you can't live near the water, you would have a fish tank in the home perhaps, or a swimming pool in the backyard, and views of waterfalls and things like that, and oceans views there on the paintings on the wall and that type of thing. There's a terrific leaning in the latter part of your life after the age of 42, Sagittarius, toward the spiritual and the mystical side of life. You have various books around the home which are books on psychic development and spiritual development and things like that. Now you have a lot of stress and tension in your life focusing through romance and love because you've jumped into a few hasty relationships that are based on physical attraction and impulse, and you've got your fingers burnt a few times in relationships. You've got a lot of stress and tension in terms of children, so there can be a lot of stresses and tensions for you through bringing children into the world if you're female, and there can be a bloody birth and a premature birth and things like that. There can be a miscarriage for you at some time along the way. There's a lot of stress and tension for you in life that focuses through children and also through the social and the romantic side of your life, especially in the early part of your life. Now you work in a job where you handle money, finances or accounts at some time along the way, and you're probably dealing with cash in the job at some time along the way. You don't like many changes in your job. You like stability as far as your job is concerned, but you do have many changes in terms of partnerships and relationships. So you've probably been married more than once, or had 2 close relationships at least in your life. And there's a distinct sense of duality there in your partner, as if you feel at times as if they're a bit of a split personality. Now you have stability as far as the home and the family is concerned in terms of security for you jointly with your partner. So the family and the domestic side of life is where you derive your sense of security for the pair of you. In relationships. That's what's very important to you. Now you do derive benefit financially through joint finances, investments in property, land and mining perhaps. Now you like to be the centre of attention in conversations and communications, especially about philosophy and spirituality. There's a lot of social involvements with people who were born overseas. You'll find that happens in your life, and you do like to travel, and there's a lot of social involvements too with in-laws, quite feasibly. Now you seem to work in the health related field at some time in your life, or you could work in a clerical field or some bookkeeping or something like that. There's a lot of observation required in your job, especially if you're in the health related field or the healing field in any way, shape or form. And there's a lot of bookkeeping and things like that you have to do in the job to keep detail there. Now it seems as if you have friends who are very creative and artistic in their nature, and your children mix with other people's children in creative and artistic pursuits like dancing and ballet and a variety of different artistic pursuits together, and you have friends who are quite feasibly with their children and your children mixed together in sort of group activities there. And you seem to have a lot of depth within yourself that you don't openly discuss with other people, especially to do with your sexual nature. So there's a lot of stresses and tensions there within yourself, and perhaps you've got yourself involved in some secret relationships somewhere along the line which have been rather destructive to your sense of security in life. and you're really wanting to delve into the mysteries of life and find out what the purpose of life is and life after death and things like that. So that'll do as far as your personality analysis and a look at your lifetime circumstances and conditions. What I'm going to do for you now, Sagittarius, is I'm going to lay out the movements of these planets on a timeline. So we look at, first of all, at the Sun, Mercury, Venus and Mars, and as they move through the houses of your horoscope, they create focuses of a different nature than what they did in the previous 2 or 3 weeks. And so there's changing influences and changing focuses of your concentration and so forth. And then I'll tell you on a week-by-week basis when those planets or when those bodies change into a different house and therefore bring about a different focus in your life. So it's on a timeline. Now, to start the month off with, the 1st of November, the Sun is in the 12th house of your horoscope, so you're self-destructive, you're experiencing a lot of insecurities in your life at the beginning of the month. And Mercury is in the 11th house of your horoscope, so you're experiencing a lot more communication with friends and through group activities. Venus is in the 12th house of your horoscope, so if you're in the market for a romance, you can be involved in a relationship in this beginning of the month, which is not in your own best interest. It can be to do with secret relationships and things like that. But there's a great deal of love for somebody who's suffering in life, perhaps in hospitals or institutions, when Venus is in the 12th house of your horoscope, so you're able to do a bit of healing there. Mars starts the month off, Sagittarius, in the 2nd house of finances, and there's probably been a lot of tension and stress for you to do with money matters. Rather impulsiveness with money would be a possibility there. Now the first change that we have, Sagittarius, is on the 9th of November when Mercury moves into the 12th house of your horoscope. That begins a period of deep introspection and reflection, aspiration towards the divine and towards unraveling some of the mysteries of life. Then on the 17th of November, Venus moves into the 1st house of your horoscope, and that begins a beautiful cycle of romance and love if you're in the market for a romance. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, there's good opportunity for you to form relationships. It's a very good time for you in terms of expressing your affection and your love. You'll be much more loving. You'll have a great deal more interest in music and creative and artistic pursuits. On the 23rd of November, Sagittarius, the Sun moves into the 1st house of your horoscope, so you'll have a sunnier disposition, what you might say, and you seem to have a potential there of more power over the next 30 days to commence or start new projects and ideas. The 28th of November, Mercury moves into the 1st house of your horoscope, and you'll be much more articulate in expressing yourself and putting your point across with Mercury in the 1st house of your horoscope. On the 5th of December, Sagittarius, Mars moves into the 3rd house of your horoscope, and that begins a period of 2 or 3 weeks where there's potential for you to be impulsive and aggressive in speech. There's potential for accidents on the road, so be careful whilst driving. And there's potential for conflicts through relatives and neighbours with Mars in the 3rd house of your horoscope, and you'll have a lot of stress and tension there in your mind, so try and relax a lot more with that sort of influence around. And don't rush into entering into contracts or agreements when Mars is in the 3rd house of your horoscope. Now then on the 11th of December, Sagittarius, Venus moves into the 2nd house of finances, beginning a 2 or 3 week period of a boost financially and good starts for you with money. You'll want to make some purchases during that time, and you'll be attracted to rich food, I can well assure you. So lay off the rich food when Venus is in the 2nd house of your horoscope. On the 17th of December, Sagittarius, Mercury moves into the 2nd house of your horoscope. With Mercury in the 2nd house of your horoscope, there's a lot more communication about money and matters relating to your sense of security in life. The last one we come to is the 22nd of December, when the Sun moves into the second house of finances and security, and it remains there for 30 days, seeing a personality focus upon purchases and financial security and stability, and matters relating to your sense of security in life through your finances as well. Now I'm going to look at Jupiter for you. Now, Jupiter starts the month off on the 1st of November, Sagittarius, in the 9th house of your horoscope. Now, when Jupiter is in the 9th house of your horoscope, and it has been there for a few months already, so you've already felt the impact of Jupiter being in the 9th house of your horoscope. Jupiter is very much at home, Sagittarius, in the 9th house of your horoscope, because you're the 9th sign. And the 9th house is its natural position there. So you've had a tremendous urge to expand yourself to new horizons. You've had a tremendous urge to expand your understanding through study, research and investigation, and to expand your understanding about the deeper aspects of life on the philosophical side of life. So that's an urge that has brought you to my website and has brought you to this particular video. And Jupiter does make a major change though in this 2-month period. It starts to go retrograde. Now what I mean by that, planets don't actually go backwards, Sagittarius, but they have an apparent backward motion when the Earth is moving around the Sun a little bit faster than what Jupiter is. It gives the appearance of Jupiter going backwards in relation to the background space. And so therefore that's what's called retrograde. And Jupiter is retrograde in your horoscope from the 9th of December, and it remains retrograde for 2 or 3 months. Now when a planet is retrograde, it impacts negatively upon 2 other areas of your horoscope that are ruled by Jupiter. And that is your 1st house, because you're Sagittarius. So it means that you can say and do things which are not in your own best interests. Things that you want to commence and start can perhaps be subject to self-destructive patterns of behaviour and so forth. So you can be your own worst enemy when Jupiter is impacting negatively upon the 1st house. You don't think things through very carefully, and you can be have bad judgment. Now also it impacts Sagittarius upon the 4th house of your horoscope, which is to do with the domestic and family side of things. So it impacts negatively upon matters relating to the family and the domestic side of life, property matters, and things to do with parents. So there can be secret worries about parents if they play a prominent part in your life. And there's a lot of insecurities there around the home and the family and those who cohabitate with you in the home for the next 2 or 3 months, okay, after the 9th of December. Now we're going to look at Saturn. Now Saturn starts the month off on the 1st of November in the 12th house of your horoscope, Sagittarius, and that means that it's been there for the last 2.5 years in the 12th house of your horoscope. So you've had a lot of secret worries about a parent who's perhaps been hospitalised or have a lingering illness or something like that in the last 2.5 years. You've had a lot of secret worries about the career. You've had a lot of secret worries about your ambitions in life, as if you haven't been able to get ahead as fast as what you would like to, with Saturn there in the 12th house of your horoscope, and you have been your own worst enemy to do with your career and your ambitions in life. So you may have made some bad judgments and decisions with Saturn in the 12th house of your horoscope. But Saturn makes a change now. In the 24th of December, the day before Christmas, Saturn moves into the 1st house of your horoscope, and that begins a whole new phase in your life. So this is very unusual for Jupiter and Saturn to have a major change in your horoscope, Sagittarius, in this 2-month period of November and December. So when Saturn goes into the 1st house of your horoscope on the 24th of December, it begins a 2.5-year cycle where you are going to have to watch the use of energy, time and money wisely, because otherwise Saturn's going to bring privation for you, frustrations and difficulties. It can impact upon your health, and you've got to get plenty of rest and sleep and look after yourself with the right diet and exercise and stuff like that. When Saturn's in the first house of your horoscope, it's as if the ruler of the law of economy is watching over you to make sure that all time, energy and money is utilised wisely, economically, and in accordance with the law of economy. Otherwise, it's going to bring ill health for you. It's going to bring frustrations with regard to personal initiatives and interests, and you'll have a pretty rough time of it. But if you're practical and down to earth, you can get through that cycle with a minimum of difficulty, and you can even take on extra responsibility and authority when Saturn is in the first house of your horoscope. So that completes my task for you, Sagittarius, as far as your personal initiatives and interests are concerned here in your horoscope. But stick around now, because there's some important other things that I want to discuss with you that have impact upon you in your life over the next 2 months, okay? So look, what I'm saying to you now that I've gone through that for you is I just want to wrap up here by saying to you, you are on the crest of the wave of evolution. You are reaching and stretching to become more of who you really are. You've brought yourself to my website for the particular reason, and to this video for the particular reason that you seek meaning in your life. You're seeking, where am I heading? What am I all about? Who am I? What life is all about? Where am I going? And how can I make my life more successful and so forth? So you're seeking meaning in your life, and you've brought yourself to this video because you are on the crest of the wave of evolution. Now that doesn't mean that you've got to be out there on soapboxes or anything like that, doing lectures to people or creating videos or anything like that to inspire other people or anything like that. The way we bring about change in the world in the new age, in this age that we're living through now, is by transforming ourselves. So by transforming ourselves and expanding our own consciousness, we send out a wave of resonant causation out there into the world of human living and thinking that inspires millions of people all over the world who we will never meet. And they are inspired by our energies, by our aspiration, by our determination to become more of who we really are. So the task at hand, in order to alleviate the pain that's there potentially for you, is to expand your consciousness. Expand your consciousness about what? Expand your consciousness about the nature of reality and your place in that reality. Just because you don't have all the answers, it doesn't mean that others don't have some answers that can be very helpful for you. So it's important for you to understand that there is purpose and meaning in life, and that you have eternal life, you can never ever die, that God and Goddess love you and know your name, that they've given you the gift of eternal life, and they've given you the power to create all of the events and conditions of your life. Now, if you're in pain, it means that you've chosen to grow through pain, and you can let go of that method of growth. You can expand your consciousness through my CDs. Look, all you've got to do is go to my website, www.mysteryofsirius.com, SIRIUS.com. Submit your birth details through the Your Horoscope page of my website, and my website address is always given in the description of the video, of each of my videos. I've done over 140 videos now in the last 18 months to help you to become more of who you really are on all aspects of personal and spiritual growth. And the feedback that I get from people about those videos is absolutely fantastic. So subscribe to my videos and go to my website, submit your birth details, and what we'll be able to do for you then is we'll be able to send you your horoscope chart free of charge. Now what does that do for you? It first of all tells you, you know what your sun sign is. We tell you what your rising sign is as well. And that determines what your soul purpose, S-O-U-L, purpose is in life. So I tell you what your ascendant is or what your rising sign is, and you can then watch the video that's to do with your rising sign as well, and that will give you an understanding of your soul purpose in life or your spiritual objectives in life, whereas the one to do with your sun sign is going to tell you what your personality achievements are in this particular lifetime. But that all has meaning to you, and we not only send you your horoscope chart free of charge, but we send you 12 CDs out of my first book, What Really Matters, a book on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And in that book, using my voice with those 12 CDs, with beautiful backing music, I take you in and out of meditation time and time again, and expand your consciousness about the nature of reality and your place in that reality, so that you can begin to understand what the purpose and the meaning and the objective and the functions of your life are all about, to help you to understand that God and Goddess have given you all of the properties, all of the qualities and all of the powers of themselves inside of yourself now. Your time is to recognize that fact and unfold those powers. And that, dear friend, takes eternity. You've lived hundreds of lives to get where you are today. So you've jumped onto this video now and you've come to my website, and you have done so because you want to grow and reach and stretch and become more of the giant that you truly are. So you're in the top 100 million people on the planet, the top 1.5% of people on the planet, and you've found your way to my website. Now look, we all have raw material. These raw materials are our attitudes, our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings, and our decisions and our choices. And those raw materials can be negative or they can be positive. If we're wallowing in self-pity and fear and anxiety and doubt and insecurity and pain and strife and shame and guilt and self-punishment and all these negative things, then what are we going to attract into our life? So the object of the exercise is to transform those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings so that they prompt positive decisions and choices. And we have 3 tools. Nobody has any different tools. Everybody's got 3 tools, and they are our desire, our imagination and our expectancy. And our desire and our imagination and our expectancy, we use those tools to mould and shape our raw materials into the events and conditions of our life. Nobody's doing it to you. God and Goddess are not up there saying, oh, you've been naughty, so we're going to hit you with a car accident or a bout of ill health or a loss of a job or a break up in a relationship or some financial crisis or something like that. No. Every single event of your life is created by you. That's the power that God and Goddess have given you. So you've got an opportunity now to learn about how does it all work? How does it all function? What's the meaning and the purpose and the objective of life? And so my 12 CDs, I'll take you in and out of meditation time and time again in those 12 CDs, and they're sent to you when you subscribe and put your horoscope details in for your horoscope page of my website. We send you those 12 CDs free of charge. Now then you can have another horoscope done by me, which is called horoscope number 2, and that's only $10. And for $10 we tell you in 20 pages all about you and you individually. You know what? There won't be another person born with the same horoscope as you for another 25,000 years. You are quite a unique individual. So what this means is that you've got planets that are in various locations in your horoscope that are not just to do with the sun sign and not just to do with the rising sign. You've got the moon somewhere in the 12 signs of the horoscope and in the 12 houses of the horoscope, and that moon determines your emotional makeup. And your emotional tests in life. Mercury rules your mind and determines your mentality. Venus rules your love nature. Mars rules your energy levels and your sex drive. Jupiter rules your higher mind. Saturn rules your practicality and organisational ability. Uranus rules your intuition. Neptune rules your spirituality. And Pluto rules your capacity to transform yourself. Now, you want to know where all of these planets are, because they're not going to be in the same location as they were at the time of your birth for another 25,000 years. So we tell you in this 20-page printout where these planets are, what aspects and relationships they form with each other. That tells you whether you're growing or whether you're retarding yourself through negative traits and so on and so forth, where your tests lie in life, in other words. And all of that, a 20-page printout all about you and you alone for only $10. Now, I think that's a damn good deal. And then there's horoscope number 3 that I do, which is my voice, and I record my findings onto a recording, and I send that to you, and I tell you all about yourself, an in-depth analysis of your personality, where your tests lie in life. Now, don't ask me to just tell you all the good things, because I won't do that. I'm an honest astrologer, and I tell you where your tests lie in life and where your failings are and so forth, so that you can grow and reach and stretch and become more of who you really are. So for the going price there, I do your horoscope number 3, which is about 25 minutes on an audio recording sent to you through my website. So you can download that into your computer or into your device, and you can listen to that, and I back it with beautiful music, and I tell you all about yourself and where your tests lie in life and what's coming up in the next few years and what's happened in the last few years. I'll tell you where you've got scars on your body even, and when you've had changes in your residence, changes in your job, journeys overseas, bouts of sickness, accidents, deaths in the family, formation of relationships, breakups of relationships. I tell you all these things. And what impact does that have upon you? When I tell you all these things about yourself from your past, it has a massive impact upon you, and it gives you the motivation. Yes, this guy knows what he's talking about, and therefore I want to hook on here, and I want to listen to these CDs and see what he's got to say, because he's given them to me free of charge as a gift, to become more of who I really am, to expand my consciousness. So it's nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you. Now, subscribe to my videos, because I'm putting out new videos all the time. The videos from 100 to 140 are quite advanced videos, but you'll be able to relate to them because you're on the crest of the wave of evolution. So it's nice to have this opportunity to talk with you. So subscribe to my videos, go to my website, submit your birth details through the Your Horoscope page of my website. Again, the website address is always given in the description of each of my videos, so you can locate that, no problem. And let's have some fun together, and let's help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. So I thank you for your attentiveness here, and I look forward to working further with you. You decide to grow and reach and stretch and become all that you can be and more. Thank you.